our demonstration today is vitrin. This equipment we needed for making the vitrin. Upper and lower record base, wax trim for the upper and the lower vitrin, ruler, wax knife, stainless steel plate, sheet wax, pencil, piece of cotton, and rubber ball filled with water. First, we must draw guiding lines for assisting us to make the vitrin in a correct manner. The alveolar ridge represents the position of the natural teeth. When the natural teeth are lost, the alveolar ridge become in this manner, on rounded end. So I must make my vitrin in the position of the teeth, on the crest of the alveolar ridge, in this place. But when I put the record base, the position of the record base, or the position of the teeth and the position of the alveolar ridge disappear. So I must draw a lines guiding for making the vitrin. The first line, I must draw a line bisecting the alveolar ridge in the center of the alveolar ridge, and continues this line to the posterior part of the cast, in the middle of the alveolar ridge. This is the first line. I must draw also the midline from the incisive papilla anteriorly and in the anterior part of the cast. Also, the third line, I must draw it in the canine eminence, from the canine eminence to the anterior part of the cast. The fourth line, I draw it in the molar region, first molar region, just behind the buccal frenum. And on the other side, I draw it also. This is for the upper. For the lower, the same, I draw a line on the crest of the alveolar ridge, and to the posterior part of the cast. Another line, it is the midline. I draw it on the midline of the anterior part. The third line, the canine eminence line. This is the canine eminence. the wax should be in the middle of these two lines, which represent the crest of the alveolar ridge. When I see my wax, it is wider than these two lines, so I must do it in this place, in the middle of these two lines. I can also draw the line on the record base, because I can't work with the wax when the record base is on the cast, because the melted wax will be stick to the cast and it is difficult to remove. So I must remove the record base, and I can see these two lines, and I put it in the middle of it. Also, the wax should have the upper trim should have labial incline, should be labial incline. So the labial inclination should be 2 mm. It should be with the same level of the cast. When I put the pencil like this, it should be touch. Should be touch with the pencil. This is the incline. I should warm the wax and put it on the record base, and then using the wax knife my wax is on the middle of these two lines, and anteriorly it is labial incline. Now I should make my final position of the wax. I should fill this space. By using the sheet wax, cutting in small pieces and melted on the flame, and fill these spaces. And after that, I should make my measurement. As we see, we fill the spaces between the wax and the record base. Now we must take our measurement. I should transfer this line from the cast to the record base to make the measurement. The canine line and the molar line in the both sided. anterior part of the bite rim should be 22 millim, and the molar part should be 18 millim. We started from the beginning of the flanges of the record base to the occlusal surface or occlusal plane of the wax. When I take this measurement, it is 24. So I need to remove 2 millim only. On the posterior part, when I take my measurement, it is also 24. So I should remove 4 millim. On the other side, it is 23, and posteriorly it is 23 also. So I should remove 2 millim, 4 millim, 1 millim, 3 millim. If I use the wax knife to remove the excess of the wax, it does not make the occlusal plane regular. So I use the stainless steel plate. I put it in the plane to warm it, and then remove from all the occlusal surface. But I should be careful not to remove excess material or any material that change my measurement. I put it directly on the occlusal plane, and then remeasure the anterior and posterior part. This becomes 22, and this is a 20. Also here 22, and here 21. So in the anterior part, I should never take any wax. On the posterior part only. Now I make my measurement again. It is 18, and in this side 18. The height of the bite rim now it's ready. The inclination should be from the 22 to 18. 22 to 18. Now I should take from the width. The width anteriorly should be 4 millim, posteriorly 7 millim. If I make the measurement, it is 10 and 10. So I should remove 3 millim and 6 millim. First, I should be sure that the inclination anterior part of the wax rim should be 2 millim only, not more than 2 millim. If I want to be sure that it is 2 millim, I should put the pen or the ruler. If there is any space between the pen and the cast, so this inclination, it is more than 2 millim. As we see, there is a little space between the pen and this part and the cast. So I should remove a part of the inclination. The anterior part of the bite rim should be curved, and the posterior part it's a straight line. When I remove from the anterior part, should be always curved. Now I will check it again. Still there is a little space. Now I see the pen is touch the occlusal plane and there is no space. In that way, the excess material, I should remove it on the palatal side only, on the anterior part. On the posterior part, the excess material or the excess wax, I should take it equally from the buccal and palatal, to keep the wax in the middle of the crest of the alveolar ridge. In the anterior part, I should take my new measurement. Now it is 6 mm. So I should remove 2 mm from the palatal side. Now it is 5. I need 1 mm. Now it becomes 4 mm. The posterior part should be 7. So I should take from the palatal and from the buccal. It is 7 mm. The other side. It is 8. It is 7. Now I should fill the space between the wax and the record base and the palatal side, and then I should make the increase in the width from 4 to 7 gradual. So I should take from this side, and then I should fill the space between the wax and the record base using the sheet wax. Any excess material of the wax on the palatal side, I should remove it. Any excess material on the flanges, I should remove it. Any part without wax, I should add a wax to it. On the posterior part over the maxillary tuberosity, I should make the wax in a slope manner. By using the sheet wax. This is slope. The other side. Also, I should remove any wax on the border or flange of the record base. Now I should make the outer surface of the wax smooth by moving the bite rim on the flame quickly and then put it on the water to have a shiny and smooth surface. And then using the cold cotton to make it shiny. Now we can see the curve of the anterior part and straight line of the posterior, and the width posteriorly 7, anteriorly 4, and the height anteriorly 22, posteriorly 18. This is the upper bite rim. Now we make the lower bite rim. The lower bite rim, anteriorly it should be straight line. with the level of the record base. But when I put my wax on the record base, there is a large space in this area. So I must remove from the posterior part of the bite rim to make it easily on the record base. I should cut from the posterior part in a curve. Like this. When I put it now, it is easy to make. The space disappear, or there will be a little space. I can fill it with the wax. Again, I should make my wax on the middle of the crest of the alveolar ridge. The wax should be on the middle of these two lines. So I should transfer this line to the record base. This line and the canine and the midline. This line assisting us to make the bite rim in a correct place. Now I should fill the space between the record base and wax. I can use the sheet wax, or I can use the same wax of the bite rim. As we see, the wax is easy to deal with it. Only using the wax knife and burner. Now I fill the space between the wax and the record base. Now I should take my measurement. The measurement of the lower bite rim in the anterior part, in the canine line, should be 18. Now it is 21. And on the posterior part should be 0. The level of the wax should be exactly with the level of the record base. And I can see there is a 2 mm over the record base. By using the stainless steel plate, I remove anteriorly 3 mm and posteriorly 2 mm till I reach the record base. posteriorly it becomes 0. The level of the wax is exactly with the level of the record base. And on the anterior part, it is 19, and in this side it's 18. So I should take 1 millim from this side. Become 18. The anterior part of the bite rim should be in a straight line. And I can see it is not a straight line. There is an excess of the material in this part. So I should make it in a straight line. Should be parallel with the pencil when I put it in this side. It should be parallel, not touch it. Parallel to it. The labial surface should be parallel to the pencil. Now I can see it is not parallel. There is an excess of the wax in this area. So I should remove this part. But I should keep in mind, in the anterior part should be curved and posterior should be straight. So when I remove in a curved line. Now I will check it again. As we see, it is parallel to it. The labial surface, it is parallel to my pencil. The width of the wax should be anteriorly as the upper 4 millim and posteriorly 7 millim. And again, if I want to take from the width, I should take from the buccal and lingual to keep the line in the middle. Not in one side I take, from both sided, to keep the line in the middle, to keep the wax on the crest of the alveolar ridge. Anteriorly, it is 8. Posteriorly, 10. Anterior, I should remove 6 millim. But I should remove it from the lingual side only, because I make the labial surface parallel to the pen. So I should, in the anterior part, only I take from the lingual. But the posterior part, I should take from the lingual and from the buccal. The excess of the material, I put it in the posterior part to close the space between the wax and the record base. It is 5 millim. Now it is 4 millim. And on the posterior, I should take from the buccal and lingual to make it 7 millim. It is 7 millim. The other side. 7 mm or so. Now I should close the space between the wax and the record base. And the gradual from the anterior to the posterior part, the gradual increase in the width should be gradually, and a curved line in the anterior and straight line in the posterior. And I should remove the wax on the border and the flange of the record base. From the lingual and labial and buccal. And should be noticed that the inner surface, there is no wax on it, because if there is any wax, I should remove it. Now I need to make it smooth. Using cotton. You can see it is shiny and smooth. And when I put the upper on the lower, the upper should be labial incline 2 mm over the lower.